University of South Florida in Tampa, and there's 2 or 3 of us librarians that have been involved in Second Life since about, I'd say, June 2006. There are some really active, creative librarians that got involved about that time. So it's actually gotten to be a very big deal, and there's really a few hundred librarians that I would say take place. They meet pretty regularly in Second Life and have put up a lot of libraries and sponsor a lot of activities and do a whole lot of stuff. So first of all, it is a new technology, and it's kind of awkward. And actually, I've come to the realization that there's no point in pushing it on everybody for everything. You know, I think maybe the early adopters have gotten here, and the people who are willing to really tough out the tough times, as it were, they may be already here. We might be working on the next phase of people that need to wait until we have maybe more tools to make it easier, and I think that's coming. You know, I think that's kind of on the horizon. It's just not as difficult as it used to be. So, you know, people can start maybe thinking about it with less trepidation. But, you know, there's still some problems. But nevertheless, it looks like virtual worlds are here to stay. There are some huge virtual worlds and millions of people on them, most of them who are not as old as I am. You know, the young people are out there. And they're just coming along, having experienced these gaming environments and you know, kind of things like World of Warcraft. They just know how to use it. So I think we kind of have to stay a little bit ahead of the game if we can and kind of figure out what we can do with this thing. Because, again, there's some sense that maybe in a few years, this is going to be a fairly regular way to communicate. So maybe we're in a little bit in the advanced mode here for some people, but everyone should keep an eye on us. Yeah, we've kind of been using this particular space to, like, advertise our presence more than else. Again, you know, we're sort of the librarians. We don't do credit bearing courses. I mean, I've done workshops on Second Life, but I haven't had the experience of having to bring a class in and give them a project and then grade them. But we got this building kind of by accident. We got on here to just check it out and see what was going on and ran across one of the people who's a big organizer here. And she realized kind of who we were and said, "Oh, you're Ilene Pratt from USF. Would you like a building?" And they basically, one of the people just gave us this building. So we've had it for a couple of years. So we wound up, for example, working with one of our computer science faculty and going over to his class and doing a couple of sessions with them so that some of the students could decide to pick this as a place to do the projects that they had to do for their course. Since we got started, again, our Center for 21st Teaching Excellence people decided that they wanted to start to foster some interest in Second Life. And they've actually bought a couple of islands. We haven't had any classes that have spent like a whole semester in Second Life. But we have classes that have spent maybe a considerable portion of the course or just part of the course, seeing what it's like and responding to things that are going on here. So they're kind of taking the lead on actually giving the faculty a place to do classes. This is a really nice build called Undiscovered Florida. And there was a guy who had put this up for one of the big exhibitions that Second Life did. It was like, you know, show off what you can do. And a couple of us saw it, and we were like, my gosh, this is wonderful. He really built this really nice environment that's like old Florida, where you tube down the river, and there's a little cracker hut, and there's, you know, little animals running around, and cypress trees and manatees and all that. So actually what he wound up doing very generously, he built a version of it at one of the FSU islands, and he built one for us as well. And it's really cool. You can get on the little tube, and you can tube down the river and see the animals. He's got all the little sounds, you know, the little frogs are chirping and the whole bit. You can see the ducks. And in the little cracker house, kind of like on the property, has a whole bunch of historical note cards. He built a little, one of the horses, St. Augustine. There's a little place you can kind of go look at that. Really, really glad that he was able to do that. And it was voluntary. He reconstructed the thing, as far as I know it. Any money or lenders changed hands. My colleague Joe, who's also a participant, but one of the things he managed to do was put up a little radio so it streams our university radio station. And the slides across from us, you know, like that we're facing, some images that were taken by one of the grads at University of South Florida, the way the campus really looks. Sciences people who actually operate in very much separately from us, with provost, separate budgets, separate everything, but they own 3 islands, and they're trying to recreate some clinics that they can eventually use for role-playing, for nurse nurses and public health people, and they've done a kind of a recreate the campus sort of a thing for their distance learners. They want them to be able to see what it would be like if they were to actually came to the Tampa campus.